Hey y'all, this is Kim with Creative Escapades, and today I'm doing another different type video. I'm not painting, but I thought I'd give you a glimpse into other things that I like to do. One of them is I like glass. I like to do hot glass. I have a kiln and I melt glass, make designs. I also do stained glass, and I like to do repurposed bottle glass. So I'm just going to give you kind of a look at what I do with them. So in another life, this was an olive oil bottle, and I thought it was such a pretty color. I melted it down, and you can see where there's some bubbles in it from trapped air. I think that's kind of cool. And I actually have a mold that you can slump it into and make it like a little dish, but I think it works great like this. You can use it as a spoon rest, or I could still melt it down into these, or let it slump in the slump mold. Either way. And then next I have these beer bottles that I did the same way. I just put them in the kiln and let them melt down. And they also can be spoon rest. You can see the shape of the bottle there at the bottom. It's really smooth. It looks like it's not, but it's all really smooth, but it is like where the bottom of the bottle was. There's a little raised area, and then where the neck was, and then where the mouth of the bottle was, you can still see it, but it's perfectly flat, and they also can be used as spoon rest. And next I have a vase that I made with using hot glass and what is known as COE 96, and I have a slump ring. You melt your glass into whatever shape, and then you place it over the slump ring and let the glass slump down and make a vase form. And this is iridescent brown. You can see the gold and the shimmer of turquoise and purple, and it's so pretty. I love it. This next one, I used white over a piece of specialty glass that actually had little strings of blue all in it. So that when I did this one into a circle and then used a slump ring and allowed it to slump down and make this vase. And as it did, it stretched all those blue lines and made them go all different ways. And then afterwards, I added each individual piece of blue on top and put it back into the kiln and allowed it to stay in there just long enough to meld the blue onto the white. It is textured. You can feel where it's raised up, but it's all very smooth. And then I have this bottle right here. I don't know what kind of bottle it is. I have no clue what was in it. I'm assuming whiskey of some kind. I do not drink, so I don't have a clue what was in these bottles. But I made a lamp out of this one, and I did my own wiring. I got me a light kit and wired it up. And then for the lampshade, I took chicken wire and shaped it into the lampshade. And then each one of these pieces of glass that's on here, I individually cut them and then grinded all the sharp edges down, rounded off the corners, And then I took copper wire and I hand wrapped each one of these to have its own unique design before attaching it to the chicken wire. And I did each roll individually. I started at the top and I cut all the pieces, grinded them down, did the wire design on them, and then attached them to the shade. And then I did the next row and the next row and the next row. That way I was able to get the correct sizing so that it would look cohesive. And I didn't want to put them like solid next to each other, so I wanted the chicken wire to show. And I wanted the light to show through the chicken wire. So I have a red light bulb in this one. I'm going to show you what it looks like when just the red light is on. So during the daytime, you can see all the beautiful colors. Each one of these is unique. Some of them are transparent. Some of them are opaque. Some of them are textured. Some of them have striping in them. And I tried to make each one unique and different. And I really love this. This took me weeks to do because I did this at night after work. I worked on this and it took me several weeks to do this. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Basically, I wanted to see if I could do it. So another one conquered. And here's what it looks with the red light on. Just kind of glows red. Some of those are transparent enough that it shows through. Some of them are the opaque and they show up dark. So it's just all kind of cool. I could put fairy lights down here, but I don't know. I kind of like it the way it is. And right here, it's going to show you how I got the wire through. I used a diamond bit, which is what you have to use for a glass drill. And I drilled that hole out and then ran my wire up through the neck of the bottle and wired up the light switch. There it is. And this one right here is another one of my favorites. I took hot glass and I cut out a keyboard, like a piano keyboard. And then I put it in the kiln just long enough for them to meld together. And then I glued it to this Jack Daniels bottle to make it look like a piano. And I got a hole drilled here so that the lights will go through over into my guitar that I made from another bottle. And I put the little fairy lights in it. I think these bottles are just so cool. Their shapes are unique. You know, it's not like just an old ketchup bottle. Somebody took time to make a mold that would create this shape, and it's so cool. I know that it has liquor in it at some point or other, but I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the beauty of the workmanship of the glass. For the guitar piece, I left the labels on here so that it would look like the neck of the guitar. These are just thumb screws, and I did drill little holes and glue them in place, wrapped the wire around them to bring the wire down. This part right here is a piece of hot glass that I put in the kiln to melt the edges, and I cut the center out. Actually cut the center out of the bottle too, so you can make it look like a real guitar. And then for where I attached the wires here at the bottom, on this back side of this brown strip, I just made little grooves with the diamond drill bit, and then I pulled my wire down and glued them into place with the grooves, and then glued this strip of brown glass to the bottle. Trying to make it look as authentic as I could. And on the back side, I cut another piece of the hot glass and just put it in the kiln long enough to smooth the edges, and then attached it to the back side. And then I'm going to show you here where I've got the hole drilled for the lights, and I used a diamond bit for this, and I made this wide enough so that you could use the little miniature like Christmas lights if you wanted more light in the bottles than what these little fairy lights do. And this just sets behind it, and I made the hole over here for the strand of lights to go through and into the bottle for the guitar. And I made the hole in the side of the guitar glass all the way across because I needed it to lean against the edge of the Jack Daniels bottle, and the only way I could get it to do that without slipping was to very carefully drill that whole area out, and then it just sets perfectly against the other bottle. So I hope you've enjoyed this little glimpse into the things that I like to do besides painting. And if you have, if you would click like and share, you help my channel grow when you do that, and I certainly appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. If you have, tell me what you think about this stuff. Do you like it? I think it's cool. But then I did it, so I would think it's cool. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click that subscribe button and ring the bell next to it. You'll get notified when I upload future videos of whatever I do. And I want to thank you for watching this one, and I hope to see you in my next Creative Escapades. Bye-bye.